This band, you know, means so much to us here at WBLM. From Maine, our own The Blend, and I'm Gonna Make You Love Me. 102.9 WBLM, live in the basement.
We were driving over a bridge in New York City, and I'm Gonna Make You Love Me came on this radio in New York City, and I went, wow.
You pick up some pieces here and there.
I promoted the Outlaws, Grinder Switch, Marshall Tucker, Atlanta Rhythm Sections, 38 Special, all those acts came through. You know, here we are doing big concerts, you know, with big acts, but The Blend always, they were like, you know, man, you got to hear The Blend. The Blend's amazing. As the time went on, they were probably as good as anybody that I've ever seen, ever.
I first saw the White Mountain National Blend 36 years ago when I was in junior high school. They made such an impression. I remember Jimmy's arm and his left hand going way up in the sky and would come crashing down on the Strat. They might as well have been the Beatles to me. Then I didn't see him for 4 more years. I heard Sweet Goody Two Shoes coming out of my neighbor's bedroom window. I go running over. I said, "Who's that?" He said, "That's The Blend on BLM."
Sweet, sweet goody two shoes. No one's gonna play with you.
They were really the first band from Maine that ever measured up to all the other bands you heard on the radio. And when I was 13 years old living in Augusta and I heard about this band, that they signed a deal with MCA Records, and it's like, nobody had ever heard of this before coming out of Maine. As far as lasting legacy, nothing touches The Blend.
You know that this train, she riding straight through Boston on down to Baltimore. It takes me where I'm going, but then back to my front door.
We were big fish in a very small, relatively small puddle, but we were bigger fish in this puddle than I ever realized.
This train is gonna carry me. Keeps on rolling, keeps on rolling.
Jim was the heart and soul of the band, and there's no question about it. You know, every group needs a core person or persons. I think he was the core.
Without Jimmy, I mean, there wouldn't have been a blend. You know, I don't think we'd have just been another band. I'd been another bass player, Skip been another drummer, and Stevie Dorby playing somewhere, doing something, you know.
She's long, she's lean, large, she's also fast, and Lord, you should feel the ground. Just rumble and go off.
This is a song by Daddy, Ty, and Casey. This is called the Hello Song.
Right.
How do kitty cats say hello? Meow, 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 meow.
And it was almost like right away, you just knew that JD was one of those nice guys, you know.
Warm, human, loving, caring.
He had that smile that when he was smiling at you, you just felt like you were the only person in that room.
My best friend in my whole life. Never met anybody like him, ever. He made me feel awesome all the time.
He's like my brother. He's closer than my brother.
There's not many people that you can say this about, that he's a person you think about, you know, as time goes on. It's one of those things, you know, too young. Just, you know, too young to go, you know, a good, great guy.
You know, your mom dies, your dad dies. Kind of expect it. The guys you play music with die. Wow. You know, something else. I was working in Portland and BLM came on He started playing all the blend songs. I think it was the day after he died. And I was doubled over crying. I could not stop crying. I was working with Greg. He says, just go out in the van and sit there. So I went out in the van, put BLM on in the van, listened to more songs. But yeah, I miss him.
Boy, I'll never forget the day that Bruce called me. Said, if you want to see Jim alive, you better go now. And I don't know, I canceled the flight to wherever I was going that day, and I went to the hospital, and thank God for Bruce, I got to say goodbye. I can't believe that he's gone. But you know, there's one thing that 8 years has taught me. I think if you're touched by such an incredible musician, such an incredible friend, he never goes anywhere. He's right here.
He left us all just a big suitcase of songs that we can continue to play and think of Jimmy when we play.
The clubs would be just jammed full of people, and they'd request all your songs. They wouldn't ask for play ZZ Top. You know, they wouldn't ask for that. They want you to play some of your songs, and that's when you feel like you're successful.
Tough question. If you had to pick one song that people could hear of your father's music, and it was the last song they were ever going to hear, what would it be? So tell us why you picked this song, Ty.
Well, first of all, that's kind of like asking you which child do you like the best.
He wrote so many different kinds of songs, I mean, country songs and love songs and protest songs, and of course one absolutely epic rock and roll song.
It's The Prize.
The Prize.
The Prize.
After seeing those guys just shred on electric guitar, it was a way for me to learn the lick. So I went home and I picked up the Anytime Delight, and I started learning the lead guitar for The Prize, you know, and all those little, where they bend the notes, you know, never done that before.
Well, basically I'm an animal lover, and I don't really believe in killing for sport, and the song brings out the fact that the kid thought that he was going, or the hunter thought that that's what he went for, and once he got there and was confronted with the actual situation of pulling the trigger, he found something different than he expected.
The night was black, the moon was nowhere to be seen.
There's a moment halfway through The Prize that's one of my favorite all-time moments in rock and roll. It's when Steve Dorr's been playing lead and Jimmy takes over. I mean, Jimmy just absolutely shreds his strap. You know, Jimmy used to tell me he was content with what he'd accomplished in his life. He had a beautiful wife, he had 2 great kids. He used to say, my best friend lives down the road. I play music whenever I want to. But me, the fan, I've never given up the dream that Jimmy's music's gonna get rediscovered someday soon.
Are you kidding me? Holy shit. Oh my word, the Blend poster. Oh, JD and I used to always talk about this poster. Oh my God, look at her. Oh, look at that. Oh, one of the album covers that Steffi did. Oh my God, look at this. This is the signing night, the night we signed with MCA. And the albums. Look at that. Worst album cover ever. Look at that. They're brand new. Wow.
I think it's time to turn the dream into reality. We're going to make a tribute album of the best of Jimmy's songs. We're going to invite local bands, national bands, and we're going to donate all the money from the project to the Rusty Rocket Foundation.
Jeez, it's too bad that not enough people heard this stuff. I mean, this was amazing music. You know, maybe it's not too late. Maybe something can be done.
Reaching for the stars in a rusty rocket, living with the will, looking for the way, praying for a dream, a search so long for, just waiting for the cards to fall my way.
I'm in.
I'm in. We're going to do Foolish Heart.
Did Limelight.
Limelight. Why Limelight?
We kind of tinkered with it for a while, and it just seemed like it fit our band. Same type of thing. It was pretty upbeat and rock, and just like we are.
One of these days I'd like to take a crack at Can't You Hear Me?
What's really important, I think, with what this charity's all about, or what this is trying to get at here with JD and the blend and giving back, is the idea that you have young kids that don't have money, and for them to pick an instrument up it'd be unbelievable. Because the problem is right now, there's no money. Even at schools, they're dropping the classes, they can't buy the instruments. So for somebody to pick up an instrument, a young kid, it might be their only way out.
Jim just enjoyed being around kids and watching kids improve and whatnot. And I mean, and he would love the work that we're doing. I mean, there's nobody who would be doing more for this whole effort than Jim if he were here. You know, I mean, he would be, you know, helping to set the equipment up at the show. He would, you know, be there helping to sell tickets. He would be helping design the poster. I mean, he would do whatever it took to make sure the thing was going to be successful. And he would have pitched in just like the rest of us and done whatever needed to be done.
Lately I've been thinking and doing a little drinking, lie awake at night. There's nothing I can do. Girl, I've got this burning. Can't you feel this burning? I don't know what to do.
I see his legacy in a personal manner in my son, who listens and knows the words and can play most of Jimmy's music. And to him, Jimmy is the Beatles.